We want to help you get in credit shape for the new year. 25% of Americans have a FICO score below 600. That means your credit is bad.
Before the recession, that number was just 15% of the full group. So financial contributor Carmen Wong Ulrich is here with some ideas to lift your credit score. Great to have you with us, as always, Carmen. Good morning.
I was kidding. You're not below 600. I kind of pointed at you.
Yeah, well,
he was giving you the side eye right there.
$5.99. It's okay, though.
The only reason I would be upset with you is because this number matters a lot, Carmen.
Oh, gosh, it matters a lot. And actually, January, this is a great time, and we're not in January yet, but get yourself geared up to make sure to pay attention to your credit for the new year, because there's a lot of changes coming up with your credit and your credit scores, and a lot of confusion as to what scores are important. Here's the deal. There's a lot of credit scores out there. The really important ones that the majority of lenders look at are your FICO scores that are attached to your credit bureau reports, right? So go to myfico.com. That's where you go to look at those scores. But FICO's coming out with a new score this year. They've teamed up with CoreLogic, and they've built a new score that not only looks at what you're borrowing and you're lending, your payments on those, renting, your utilities, your bill payments, every bill that you have is going to be monitored. So this year, really pay attention to all those bills.
You pay the bills on time, you get a better credit score.
Exactly,
and that's the thing. Until you actually get older and you have to start purchasing homes and cars like that, I think when you're younger, you don't realize if you miss an Amex payment or you miss a payment here, that stuff stays with you. It just seems to come back and haunt you always.
And the younger you are, though, the harder it is to build your score up, because part of your score is credit history. So you can't even have a great score until you've got years and years in. So really, the mistakes that you make early on can affect you later on, but you can do a lot of things to change it. Now, in terms of the credit bureaus and what your FICO score is based on, you can get that for free once a year. January is a great time to do this. Go to annualcreditreport.com. This is where you get your reports for free. And I want you to scour them. The Public Interest Research Group, PIRG, found that over 80% of credit reports have errors. I know I have found errors in my reports. So go through and scour them. Some of the most common errors include the amounts owed. How much you actually owe can be very wrong. Also, your credit limits. If your credit limits aren't updated and you're using a card and you're carrying a balance, it can look like you're maxed out and you're not. So you want to make sure that that matches. Old items can remain on there, only should be there 7 to 10 years, and also just outright fraud. So if you see anything that's fraudulent, that's why it's important every year to take a look at your credit reports. Go to ftc.gov, click on the consumer tabs, and it'll take you through the process of what to do.
Well, how I guess, labor intensive is the process? I think a lot of people think, who have had credit issues. The story you always hear, it takes forever.
Well, the fraud especially, if it's identity theft or it's outright fraud, that can take a lot more time. However, if it's something as simple as changing your credit limit, call the credit bureau and call your creditor, and it takes those 2 phone calls to make the adjustment. Of course, it takes 30, 60 days to show up on your report, but these are things, if you stay ahead of it, rather than react when you go to apply for a loan, like a mortgage or an auto loan, do it beforehand so you're on top of it.
Preemptive strike.
And not only that, you're saving money along the way, because the better credit score you have, the better deal you're going to get with any bank when you go out for a loan.
It saves you a ton of money, but it's really important to keep perspective here, because a lot of folks will do anything to save their credit score. The problem is, if you're carrying balances and you need to get out of debt, it may make more sense to do something that may cost you on your credit score so that you can get rid of the debt, like transferring a balance from one card to another, even though it'll look maxed out, but it'll save you. You'll be 0% from 23%. Will save you the money. When do you need your score? What's more important? If you're ready to have a home and you're ready to have a car, but you need to get out of debt, don't worry about that 10, 20 points. Get out of debt. You can always recoup the points later.
But you think this is kind of a good way of house cleaning? First of the year, start the new year right, get those credit reports, make sure everything's in check, just kind of clean the file out.
Absolutely, clean the file, and do this every year. Make it a routine, because you can stay on top of it, and then when you need to borrow for the car or that house, you'll be in great shape.
Great advice, Carmen.
Thanks, Carmen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.